Have you ever wished you could talk to your cat, or most importantly, get your cat to tell you what they want?
Do you want to train? Let's use the buttons instead. Come on. Do you want to train? Do you want to train? Okay, let's train.
Get ready to enter into the future of cat training, because I'm going to share with you what talking buttons are, as well as the first steps that you need to follow to get your cat to talk to you using communication buttons. Talking buttons or communication buttons are small devices that, when pressed, are going to produce a pre-recorded sound. When using buttons to communicate with our pets, the sound that is going to be produced is a word linked to a meaning. We can train our cats to link a specific sound with a desire, and later on to press the button to express that desire. These buttons were invented for a different purpose than communicating with our cats. They are called assistive technology, and they are designed to provide additional accessibility to individuals that have speech difficulty. Just a few years ago, a very smart group of people decided to start using this assistive technology, first with dogs and later on with cats, to see if they could communicate with them. The results? Amazing. You've probably seen plenty of videos of dogs and cats expressing their desires using buttons. Assistive technology, when used with dogs or cats, it's commonly known as talking buttons. Billy Speaks is a cat that uses communication buttons very effectively. He's become one of the most famous talking animals in the world, and he's learning new words very quickly. He already has a massive board filled with words. But they didn't start there, and neither should you. Let me walk you through the steps that you need to follow to teach your cat to use communication buttons. You would think that the first thing that you need to do is to buy talking buttons. But the answer is no. You can start teaching your cat words way earlier than that. For instance, I taught Mia the word hungry without talking buttons. I asked her if she's hungry, and she answers meow.
Are you hungry? Okay.
Words are the link between thoughts and the real world, and whenever you can establish that link, you're moving forwards in the adventure of teaching your cat to speak. It is a good idea to get organized when it comes to the words that you want to teach and when. How should you choose the first words to teach your cat? Your cat is trying to communicate with you most of the time through body language, as they do with other cats. I created a video helping you understand your cat's body language, which you can check after watching this one. I'll add the link in the description box down below. Also, some cats are going to meow to their owners for a variety of reasons. When they want attention, to ask for food, to be let out, or to complain about some sort of discomfort. By paying attention to what your cat tells you through body language and meows, you're going to know what your cat values most. Probably your cat can even identify a few words already, like outside, play, food, or hungry. Start with those. I personally found using 2 words instead of 1 was easier, so I started with 2 words. Outside and train. I like the word train because it goes very closely related with food. When we're doing clicker training, she needs to work for her food, and she's getting treats in exchange. So when using that button, she's actually asking for food or to train, but she gets both. She won't get the food for free. And the other one is outside. She often sits in front of the balcony waiting for me to open the door, but I don't always see her. A button there will help a lot. There are many brands offering buttons to communicate with your cat, but the ones that you're going to see in this video are from Fluent Pet. I will add the link in the description box down below. Fluent Pet, it's not sponsoring this video in any way, but amongst all the buttons that I've tried, these are the ones that are easier to press, which is ideal for cats, and the sound is fairly good. There are 2 ways in which we can train a cat to press a button. Some people recommend using only modeling to train a cat to press a button, because otherwise, by using targeting, your cat is going to link that button with a treat. The problem with a dog or a cat pairing the button with a treat is that they can get hung up on that and not expect anything but food from pressing the button. Based on my own experience, the easiest way to train a cat to press a button is by using targeting. The solution that I found to overcoming the problem of the buttons turning into food dispensing machine is to use the word train instead of treat. After the button is pressed, I'm going to ask my cat to perform a trick. Sit, spin, lay down, whatever. And then reward her. This allows me to give a treat to my cat Mia, but she still has to work for it. To teach a cat to press a button by using targeting, we're going to use clicker training. There are many types of targets. Actually, anything can be a target, and I like using things that I have around the house. For this exercise, post-it notes come in very handy. Because we're going to use clicker training to do this exercise, you're going to need the post-it notes, a clicker, and some treats. Let's assume that you know what clicker training is and that your clicker is charged. If you've never heard of clicker training before, don't worry, I have a very easy tutorial teaching you how to clicker train your cat in 3 very easy steps. You can watch the video here and come back once you've watched that. Take a post-it note and hide the treat behind. When your cat touches the note, click, then reward. Repeat a few times until your cat links touching the post-it with a reward. Then you can remove the treat and keep on rewarding after your cat touches the post-it. Continue clicking and rewarding every time that your cat touches the post-it note. By using the post-it as a target, we're going to train our cat to put their paw on top of the post-it note in exchange of a treat. Once your cat is very comfortable doing that, you can take the post-it note and put it on top of a button, getting your cat to press a button for the first time. Fold the post-it note a couple times to make the surface smaller, and keep rewarding when your cat touches the post-it note on top of the button. After a few repetitions or a few sessions, your cat is going to get very comfortable at touching that post-it note on top of a button in exchange of a treat. They are even going to get very eager about it, and they're going to press so strong that the button is going to sound. When that happens, stop rewarding your cat whenever they touch the button but it doesn't sound, allowing them to understand that you're only going to reward them when the button is properly pressed and a sound comes out from it. Behavior that is driven by internal satisfaction, it's called intrinsic motivation. Once your cat learns how to press a button and that buttons trigger actions, let the modeling begin. Using the buttons themselves to express their needs should be rewarding enough, so don't lure them with treats once they know how to press the button. That's the only way they'll learn to press a button when they need something when they need it. So now that you know how the buttons work, you need to choose a place where they will sit. Some cats find it easier to use the buttons when they are close to what they need. For instance, the outer button near the door. Whenever you see your cat it's asking for something, like we were saying before, through body language, meows, or even when they start pressing the button, you need to model it as well. So if, for instance, they're sitting on the door, you click the outside button and then you open the door. The process more or less works as follows. You say outside, press the button, and you direct your cat's attention towards opening the door or letting them go outside. Both for humans and for cats, when learning a new language, the first stage is observing and absorbing. This will be the first stage for your cat, and it's going to take some time. Don't get discouraged and keep modeling by pressing the buttons and saying the words out loud. There's one day in which your cat will press a button on their own, and from there, it's downhill. Add new words as long as your cat understands what each button means, regardless of where the board is placed. Do not add more words until you're not sure that your cat understands what each individual word means. I started with 2 buttons, outside and train. I will continue with words that are also highly motivating for Mia, like play. And probably after that, I'm going to add some specificity to the word outside with balcony and hallway. Adding too many words too fast, it's going to overwhelm your cat and confuse them. And these are only level 1 words that relate to things or activities. Teaching your cat some more advanced words like time, emotions, or self-awareness should come when your cat is already mastering a bunch of level 1 words. As you use the buttons, you might see that your cat gets overly obsessed about a particular button. Avoid starting with food or treats if your cat is overly food motivated. If that's the case of your cat, consider adding a button with all done, finished, or later. We have covered a lot in this video, and the very first step is to understand what words you need to start teaching your cat. So take a look at this video to see what words you need to start with by observing and learning from their body language.